Well, hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new series then in Motorsport Manager. As promised, we are playing on the Fire mod, the replacement for the Ice mod. And this series is going to be a replacement for the GT series, which just became too much. It's I have too many troubles in my life to be struggling through that week in, week out. It was going nowhere really. The creator team really is for the elite in this game, and I am certainly not one of those. So to replace it, we could have gone into the DTM classes that the Fire mod enables, but I thought, you know, I love Formula 1. A lot of you guys love Formula 1. Let's do the official Formula 1 mod. And we're going to be trying to take Haas to the top. The American dream. Too long have we seen new teams coming into Formula 1 and failing for the last sort of decade or so. The last major successful one that was Red Bull. Obviously Mercedes you could count in that, but they were both takeovers. So was Renault. Haas is the first proper new team that's really started to make a dent in the championship. So I don't want to see them fall by the wayside. And I know we've got a lot of American viewers as well, so I'm sure you have a invested interest in this. So we're going to try and take Haas to the top of the championship. It's going to be tough. We start with pretty much the 9th best car. Our headquarters and staff, sponsors, pit crew are all the worst because obviously we're a new team. This starts technically in 2016, so we are a brand new team. So we've got to start literally from the bottom in terms of resources. We've got some fairly okay drivers. Not a massive fan of Magnussen. Grosjean's fairly decent. But let's just dive straight into it, shall we? And see what the situation is like with the team in this mod. And the kind of changes we're going to have to make to try and make these guys come back to the top of the championship. So, little welcome from our two drivers and our design facility. Definitely use some work on our brakes. Yep, as we all know, Haas have massive issues with their brakes. Nice little touch from the mod to put that in there. So we need to try and sort those out as soon as possible. Predicted to finish 17th and 18th as the 9th quickest team. But we'll get into our drivers pretty soon. I don't want to go in too hard too fast. I played a bit of the Ice mod. Quite a lot of the Ice mod to be fair. And the Fire mod is just a reworked version of that. But I still don't want to, run before we can walk. So we're going to go for 9th. Which just means we have to beat Sauber, but I'm hoping we can maybe beat McLaren as well, or maybe Toro Rosso. We'll see how it goes anyway. So another thing added with the mod is the energy recovery system to the single-seater cars. So we have ERS and harvesting and all that lovely stuff. And of course we get the brand new free update stuff, the pit crews. So we're going to have a pit crew to manage as well. But first thing we need to do is look at the car, because obviously we don't, for the first season, get to build the car. And the first race is in just 16 days' time in Australia. So we need to get everything ready. I'm going to start by improving the brakes we've already got and the performance of the engine and the gearbox. Sorry, the reliability of both. As you can see, we have pretty much zero resources. We're going to need some sponsors before we can build some HQ stuff. Obviously, the first thing I think we're going to need to build is going to be the design centre. I'm a little bit worried after last time. I can hear a lot of background noise there. So just so that we don't have a situation like last time, I'm going to turn that down quite a bit. We'll see if that's too low. You guys can let me know, and I'll see in the edit anyway. So yeah, the first change we're going to need to make is going to be the factory. So hopefully we get some good sponsors and we can make that nice and early. Because we want that built sort of halfway through the season so that we can get those extra guys working on the parts. Because we have an okay car, okay drivers, but we have no facilities, so we can't keep up a rate of development really that the other teams can. So performance of the brakes, reliability of the engine. Here's a good place to start. We start with a pretty good base reliability anyway, so we should hopefully see the checkered flag in Australia without too many problems. So I would agree that brakes are something that we need to work on. They're definitely pretty low anyway, and it's kind of Haas's main weakness in IRL anyway, and it's nice they've transferred that into the mod anyway. So we're going to increase the deceleration and reliability. We're going to get that built. And everything costs so much at the top level. That's going to cost us 3 million just to get one set of brakes fitted. And let's have a look at the team then. So, oh yeah, you can see my little character there. I've come over from the UK to fix your problems, Yanks. We're going to sort you out and get you racing at the top. And I've brought my little flat cap. Very sort of Colin Chapman-esque, I think. So that's what they need. They need some good old British engineering. Also, I've gone for the financial sort of perk for the team manager, just because we always have issues with money. So anything we can save, I think, would be a good thing for this race, for this championship. Sorry, for this Let's Play. I'm rambling as I often do. So let's get going forward, shall we? Let's start with the two drivers then. Magnussen and Grosjean. They're both knocked into contracts for the next 34 months. And we've got Tatina Calderon, who is someone to watch out for, by the way. She's doing okay in, I think, GP2 at the moment. And we keep asking, will there be a woman in Formula 1? She's the most likely at the moment. So definitely one to watch out for. I think she's 15th, 16th in the GP2 championship, but it is her first season. So definitely one to watch out for. And we'll keep her as a reserve for the moment. I'd be interested to see if she's got high marketability. She does. But both our drivers have got pretty low marketability, as we can see from the sponsors here. We're still waiting for sponsors, slot 3, 5 and 6. And you can get some pretty big sponsors in the top leagues, so especially with this mod. So we should expect quite a bit of money to come in, hopefully. Haas, for some reason, obviously the main title sponsor, I guess Haas is a parts company and a sort of automation company as well. They bought that sponsor slot for 96 races. That seems a bit game-breaking, considering they're only paying $1 million per race. But, you know, we'll have to deal with it. That's Gene Haas wants his name on the car, and he's going to pay us $1 million, effectively 96 million over the next few seasons. Sure, go for it, buddy. We'll accept it, I guess. Now, I'm thinking we're going to get rid of Kevin Magnussen. But the question is, who can we get quick enough to replace him? I really need to know from the sponsors if we're getting any money in soon. So at the moment we're going to be making $3.5 million per race, which is good news. So we've got a lot of budget to work with per race, but then this is the top performer of the motorsport, so we will get a lot anyway. But I feel we can definitely improve on Magnussen. I want to try and bring in some kind of star driver in the first season, just to get us off on the right foot. So let's have a look, shall we, at who is available. So one guy I was thinking, if he's still in this mod, how recent is this? Is this 17? No, it is 16. So we have got Button and Alonso. I do kind of want to bring Jenson Button in. I know he's gonna. No, he's a reserve, so this is 17. This is 17. Okay. No, it's 16. Or whatever. I'm rambling again. Should we bring JB in? I would love JB on the team. I really would. How much? It's only going to be for one season. So till the end of this year, as our number one driver. I would expect him to be higher rated than Magnussen and Grosjean. I don't know until I've scouted him, but I want to bring someone in pretty quickly. Even split on the buyout clause, he's got enough money. He wants to race. Come on, gents. You know you want. I know it's supposed to be a year off, but you can come drive for the Haas. You love America. Live in LA. We'll leave the bonuses for the moment actually and see what he says. We'll just send in a primary offer. We don't have to sign him. Right, our designer Ben Agafegulu. I'm really good at pronouncing his name. 480,000 per race. He's okay. He's not brilliant. I think we need to get our HQ upgraded before we change our designers and mechanics. At the moment they seem okay. And then we've got the pit crew then, this new thing to manage. So who have we got available? So, considering how much we're making, I don't really see why we can't bring in some really good guys. So, 0% mistake chance. Yep, you're being hired immediately. It's a shame they don't put the mistake chance on this screen, which is a bit irritating. So, who did we just bring in? We just brought in, I think it was Summer Skill, wasn't it? Mistake chance 0. I think it was her. So she's best. We don't have to refuel, of course. So we don't have to worry about their refuel skill. So she's best on fixing and front jack. But front jack can't also fix. Okay, so in the top form, this wasn't in the endurance. So there is a separate person just for fixing. So we might have her in the fixing slot. There we go. Right. Front jack. Oh, we got 2 fixing slots. Okay. So Haggis, yeah, pretty much only good for fixing. They're all good for tyres. Also good on the front jack though, but that one isn't good on the tyres. So what if we go swap, and then swap. That'll do. ERS. Do we have ERS, guys? Oh no, because the harvesting's done in the. Oh, there's the mistake thing. Right, good. So pit stop time looking good. I don't think we need anybody else for the moment. Let's just see how they get on, and we can adapt it as we get actually there. Our man's pretty good on the rear jack. So let's swap them for Lacano. Pit stop to high him down to 3.3 seconds. Lovely. Okay, let's see how that works. Finances, sponsors. I think we're good to go to get up and running them. Yeah, I got it. Christ. Thank you. And we'll see what Jensen says then. We'll keep everything improving in terms of the kart. Just get the reliability up of different things if we can. New Haas Manager announced. Winslow nearing end of his career. Mixed reaction. Now you wait and see, Danks. I'm the best man for the job. Don't you worry. Right, Jensen wants a lot more money than that. He's okay with splitting it. He wants a bit of a longer contract. How much are we actually paying Magnussen? Magnussen, 62,000. Jesus, I didn't realise Haas were paying these guys so little. I don't think this is quite accurate. Okay, let's retract that. Christ, I'm not paying them that little smaller amount of money. Let's see who's unemployed, shall we? Right, so we got some young guns. Daniel App, these are guys from Formula E. So a slight change from Palmer. Little bit of Palmer. No. So when has this been literally updated to the moment then? So let's actually look at who's running who, shall we? So Renault is Hulkenberg and Carlos Sainz then, so it's right up to date. And then it's Toro Rosso is Gasly and Kvyat. So not quite up to date because it's still Kvyat and Gasly, not Hartley. But interesting. We'll be starting the season with Sainz in that Renault. That's going to make it pretty tricky to beat Renault this season, but we'll see. So let's go back to scouting. Have a look. Who we got? So obviously the obvious people. Oh, Mark Webber's there as well. Can make a return. You see, this is where I get carried away when it becomes real life mod, because you just get so into all these things, thinking about who you'd love to bring back to sport, and who you want your drivers to be about, who aren't necessarily the best for from a game point of view. So people I'd be thinking about is people like Leclerc, Giovinazzi. So where is Leclerc in Formula 2? Jack Aitken is a very strong possibility as well. Whether they're quite ready to step up though. Where is Leclerc? There he is. There's the man, the myth, the legend. Well, what I think we can do is we're going to scout him. And we're going to get on to the first race. I don't think we can, as much as I wanted to, I don't think we can change drivers in time. And this might take a bit more thought than I think. It also depends how we do with the sponsors. If we get some good sponsors in the bag in the next couple of races, then we've got the money to change drivers. Don't want to interview you fools. I'm going to be very much a Marchione style character. Don't talk to the media ever. That's where this kind of game would also be quite nice in terms of like a focus tree. So you go down a focus tree of Haas to break the partnership with Ferrari. Because that's what I feel they need to do IRL. They can't prove themselves or really improve as a manufacturer until they break away from Ferrari. Right, so we just switched the gearbox just to improve that a bit. We're going to keep improving those brakes as much as we can. Rear wing's not too great either. Engine's pretty good because it's the Ferrari unit in there. I guess we just wanna get into the first race and see how it's gonna go. Tatiana's birthday. I mean, she's not gonna drive. She's a reserve, so just a card, I'm afraid. I've just got here. I'll sign the card that's going around the office. That'll do. Right, a couple of sponsor offers in slot 3 then. ProSource IT and Adler Plastic. Fixed pay per race. 3 races, 500,000. 4 races, 520. I think I'll take the 4 race offer. Pretty crappy sponsor, but at least a bit more to the budget, and it means financially we're in a good shape. So a lot of this, I'm guessing, is it's purely because our drivers, I didn't realise we were paying them so little. I mean, Grosjean and Magnussen, they're barely making $1 million a year. It's barely worth doing. Financial management. Oh, leave it out, Gene. Okay, I'm here to help you, mate. Some good old British know-how. No one wheels and deals like we do. Right, small time sponsors, Aero, Clarplan and Beta. 4 races, 800. 3 races, $250,000. Brings it pretty close. Or 4 races, 14th or above. No upfront payment and a bonus of 333,000. I'll just take the 800 up front, to be fair. I don't really see any better options on the table. 14th, we should get higher than that in the race, I'm hoping. Qualifying it might be tricky. That's definitely the best overall financially if we hit that target every time. But I'd rather just take the money and be safe, to be fair, for now. So a bit more money in the bank. And slot number 6, 1.2 up front, 1.2 up front, and 100,000 per 4 races. So these are identical. Would we rather have toothpaste or these people? Camosi. I know Colgate. They're a trusted brand. And maybe K-Mag can do some adverts with them about having clean teeth for sucking people's balls. Yeah, I was going to go there at some point. Didn't think it was going to be to do with toothpaste, but there we go. Right, we are ready for Australia. This is going to be a pretty long episode, and I'm just going to get the first race in here. Normally I split the sort of pre-season stuff and the first race apart, but we're just going to get in, make it a longer episode. Then you get to see the whole opening and all the shebang. So I shall get practice done, our first practice session in the Haas car, and then I'll be with you for qualifying. Right, both the Haas boys out for Q1 then, and hopefully one of our 2 drivers can challenge to get into Q2. That'll be the aim for the first half of the season with our car, I'm sure. Well, that being said, I've got a feeling there isn't Q1, Q2 and Q3, which there should be into this mod. That's a bit of a shame. So we'll try and get as high as we can then. Sort of 13th, 14th, just outside the top 10 I'll be happy with. Practice went pretty well. 96% set up for Grosjean, 95 for Magnussen. Just what I like in this style of championship. A really, really long practice session. 25 minutes meant we could get everything done. We got level 3 for most of the race stuff and soft tyres, and we even managed to get to level 2 for qualifying trim as well. There's a bit of rain towards the end of the session. I don't know whether that will carry over for the race, but qualifying itself looks like it's going to be dry. And the times that were comparative in terms of tyres, we were pretty similar to Toro Rosso. So it looks like the track could suit our car and we could get off to a fairly good start here. Whether we can threaten the points, I don't know. I presume this mod, like ICE before it, will have the normal F1 point scoring system, so points for the top 10. As Grosjean puts in his first lap then, a 125 something, 125.3. So used to looking down the bottom. And Magnussen a 125.6 then. So we're ahead of Ericsson in the Sauber, Van Dorn in the McLaren at the moment. Kvyat goes ahead of us in the Toro Rosso, but only by a 10th. So it looks like we could fight Toro Rosso pretty well here. And Perez, stellar performance from Force India, out-qualifying the 2 Red Bulls at the moment. This is why I like this mod so much. I know what I'm talking about. Rather than going blah 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 is in blah 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 car, not really knowing anything as it is with the base game, at least I know the drivers and what team they're driving for and where they should be in this opening season anyway. As the 2 Mercedes go straight to the top. Bottas out qualifying Hamilton at the moment. Worst mod ever. Completely unrealistic. Get rid of it. But a second off for Grosjean. He's holding 8th at the moment. You know what? Pretty good start. We'll have one more run towards the end of the session. But at the moment, looking promising that we could get a top 10 start with Grosjean. And, you know, he's given a lot of stick. He's very moany this year. And last year, to be fair, towards the end of it. But he is a great driver. He's not maybe... Okay, he's a good driver. He's not maybe a great driver. Like your Verstappens, your Hamiltons, your Vettels. He's someone I would put on the par with sort of Bottas, Perez, Hulkenberg. Not really the best, but really dependable and a step above this new breed coming into Formula 1. Alright, out you go, boys. Let's see if you can make a little improvement. Magnussen a lot of time to find there. Well, only 3 attempts to be fair, but still. Hopefully he can find it. It'll be interesting to see how realistic this order is. At the moment looking pretty realistic apart from Perez up there in 4th. And I don't know until the things disappear, but I'm presuming the 2 McLarens are right down the bottom, which is a little bit unrealistic. You'd think if they'd made all the drivers changes and stuff, they would put the real McLaren performance in, which is, to be honest, they might be 9th in the standings IRL, but their car is definitely on the fringes of the top 10, and as quick as the Renaults and the Toro Rossos at the moment. But we'll see what these 2 guys do, see if they can find the improvements, and I'm sure others will improve as well. Yeah, Van Dorn out-qualifying Alonso at the moment. I'm really questioning the validity of this mod at the moment. It's a shame we haven't got that little bit more zoom distance. It would be great with the proper liveries that they've put on if you could go all the way in, but you can tell the differences between the cars, so that's all you need, I guess. It's as official as it's going to be. While we're waiting for them to finish their laps, I do want to plead the case that PlaySports should be given an official license for all motorsports with immediate effects. I know the licensing would be a complete disaster, and that's why they can't do it, because if you had different forms of motorsport, there's no way you could get, you know, WEC teams, touring car, DTM, F1, Formula E potentially all to agree to the same list of rules and not want a huge amount of money as well. Right, Magnussen, big improvement up to P5. With a 125.1. We're waiting for Grosjean. Grosjean's already done his lap then. Improves by a 10th. No, he goes a 10th slower. So Grosjean stays 9th. Magnussen up to 5th. What a lap from the young man. And interesting straight away, so this form is a new thing. It shows how informed the driver is at any given time. Hamilton and Vettel there, 10. Both of them. So that's obviously the mod implementing that both drivers are at the top of their game for this season, which they really are. And still, they're being out-qualified by Valtteri Bottas. By 2 tenths. Or 1.5 tenths. Yeah. Worst mod ever. Yeah, you got to have a bit of variance, haven't you, in the game? These things can happen. But really not a great showing from Red Bull or Raikkonen in the other Ferrari. We've got Magnussen in P5, Perez in P4. And both our cars in the top 10. What a great start to the season. If we can finish there in the race, we're on for a bucket full of points. So let's hope we can hold on to it. Certainly a lot better than we were expecting anyway. Right, so I'm going to use soft tyres and race trim for both cars. They're the best boosts we got from all that practice time. And I think soft tyres will be the race tyre later in the race. But of course, we must start on... Must we start on the super softs? No, so we can change tyres. I think I might put Grosjean on the soft tyres, and see how far into the race he can go. There's obviously no refuelling in Formula 1. So they got that rule right, but not the 3-stage qualifying. Interesting. And we will start K-Mag on the super softs being so high up there. You know what? This is Formula 1. Go for it, boys. We're not to hold back in mediocrity anymore. This is the pinnacle. We need to do the best job we can at all times. Just let it struggle down to that. K-Mag P5. His highest qualifying position of his career in his very first race with us. Told you, what is it? It's that British magic. The American team desperately needed, but we're underway then for the first race in Australia. K-Mag made a great start, getting past Perez immediately and up to 4th place and on the back of Bottas, Vettel and Hamilton, and actually looking for a way past Hamilton at the moment. Grosjean back a couple of places down to 11th, not the best start from him, but hopefully he can get stuck in. Does so. Oh, he almost got his 2 positions back, and now back to 11th then. Right, so we're going to go back down to medium on the fuel, and we're going to keep pushing. Actually, we're going to go neutral on the super softs and medium there. And we'll keep pushing with Grosjean just to get those soft tyres back up to temperature. But we've got our harvest mode to use when we need it as well. And it might be prudent to use it immediately with Magnussen, just to try and get him clear of that group if he can. But I used it. Everybody used it immediately, apart from Grosjean, and he's gone back down to 15th. Interesting how the entire field decided to use that immediately. That seems a little broken to me. But Grosjean regaining those positions then. He's only able to get back up to 14th. He might just about get 13th as he tries to go around the outside of Lance Stroll and makes the move stick. But he lost out 2 positions because of that mass exodus of charge. As everybody suddenly released all of their harvest energy into the back of those incredibly quiet and talky Formula 1 cars. Right, Magnussen doing really well. He's got himself a little gap back to Ricciardo of just over a second. I would say he's out of DRS, but no DRS in this. Grosjean has made up another place then. He has got past Stroll, and I think they've both got past Ocon to get back up to 12th. So, front 5 on the super softs, Verstappen, Kvyat and Hulkenberg on the soft tyres. And then a mixture down from there. We have got some people down the back on the medium tyres as well. So, we're going to kick it on up to 2-speed. And we need to really stop pushing with Grosjean because it's overheating those tyres. We're going to go back to conserve to get that temperature down as soon as possible. A little mistake on my part there. And just settle in. I don't think there's any point doing these on normal speed when we've got the endurance to really fill our long race fix. That, by the way, very strange time to say it, by the way, in the middle of a race, as Magnussen unfortunately gets passed by Daniel Ricciardo, and he's got the Flying Dutchman on his tail now in the form of Max Verstappen. To be honest, this was to be expected, considering our incredibly lofty starting position. This was always a danger. Just going to use a little bit of boost to defend there from K-Mag. Yeah, as I was going to say, very strange time to say it, but I'll probably say it again at the end, but that Endurance series will start tomorrow as a live stream. And I will be using the Fire mod as well, because they've just updated that to have all the official World Endurance Championship cars and drivers. So that will be starting tomorrow evening around about 7ish, hopefully. But I'll give you an update on that again at the end of the race. And on Twitter as well, I'm sure. Anyway, back to the mission in hand. One problem we might have with this car then is tyres, because Magnussen has just chewed through those. So I think I'm going to go on to the medium tyres. Might be a little slower. Everything on the car looking okay. I'm not going to put any charging because that always breaks. Grosjean looking after his tyres okay. Just Magnussen that was having the issues. So whether that's our doing or just an inherent feature of our car, I don't know. But we make our first pit stop under the new system then. No mistakes. Everybody seems pretty clean. 3.5. It's a couple of attempts down on what we were quoted. But a fairly routine stop. No issues. And he's back out into the race then. And he's going to start charging down the back of the field. So Grosjean seems to be growing into this race. He's currently coming under pressure from Esteban Ocon in the Force India. Who have we got ahead? Stroll and Massa, the two Williams cars ahead. If we're fighting with Force Indias and Williams, I'm pretty happy at this point in time. Up at the top, Hamilton and Bottas going wheel to wheel. What looks like an epic fight for the lead from the two Mercedes drivers. And I'm wondering if they've kept the files from Nico Rosberg from the old mod. Because this is not very Bottas-like. Great racing, I'm sure, but not really what the Finnish driver's known for, going wheel to wheel with Lewis Hamilton. So Grosjean could probably go another lap or two. He's cooled those tyres sufficiently now. So I think we're going to use his boost once he gets back onto that long back straight. Magnussen has actually caught the back of... It's Daniel Ricciardo actually who's made that stop as well. So he's on pace to rejoin in that sort of 5th, 6th position hopefully. And let's use the rest of that boost from Romain Grosjean. Now, I think we'll come in this time round with Grosjean. We'll put on another set of soft tyres. He seems to do pretty okay on those. I think it's going to be a 2-stop race, maybe a 3. But we'll see once we get to the other end of this race how many it's going to be. So a lot of drivers going on to the medium tyres that were on super softs. So Grosjean, slight mistake. Leah Soles, I'm going to be watching you. Cost us 3 seconds there. Luckily he does get back out ahead of Carlos Sainz in the Renault. But that was a costly pit stop nonetheless. And they're the kind of things we have to start watching. If they're repeated mistakes from those pit crew members, they're going to be on their bike and out of a job, I'm afraid. No sympathy in the world of Formula 1. Right, K-Mag, this is going to be the real test as to how he's got back out. Comes back out in 14th. Verstappen, Ricciardo and Kvyat the only ones ahead. So those Red Bulls have made a good step ahead of us. But we're still ahead of some crucial cars. But we're really going to need these medium tyres to do the distance. If we're going to get out any points out of this race. So still a bunch of people that started on the medium tyres yet to pit. Just going to use that boost from Magnussen to try and get him away from Kimi Räikkönen. Not a battle I thought I'd be having in the opening race in these Haas's. The Finn against the Dane, an age-old rivalry. I don't know if there is a rivalry between... I think it's more the Danish and the Swedish that have a rivalry, maybe. They're all Scandinavian. Surely they all hate each other. That's a bit presumptuous. Let's not go there, shall we? Leave a comment down below if the Danes hate the finish. No idea why. Right. So we've got, technically, Alonso, Ericsson, Gasly and Verline still to pit. So I would put ourselves in around about a net 7th place with Magnussen at the moment. So he's still in the points. So it's going fairly well. Grosjean still ahead of Sainz, has come back out ahead of Van Dorn. And now he's got a train of medium tyre runners that he should have the pace on. And his form's getting better and better as this race goes on. Now the question is whether we can go far enough to do another stint on the soft tyres after that. His opening stint was 10 laps. So if he can do 10-11 laps on this set of tyres, then he can go softs again at the end. Because of course, there's no tyre rule in here that you have to change compounds. It's just not a thing in Motorsport Manager. Oh, hello. We got some rain on the way. Okay, things got complicated all of a sudden. So we're going to have to go lap 24-25. So we're going to have to pit again anyway. So if we need to come in early, we can, knowing we've got that buffer. So that doesn't change much. It depends. Okay, Mag overheating those tyres. Soft tyres okay on Grosjean. Right, everybody but Alonso is now pitted, so Magnussen is in P8. He's in a real scrap though. And we're going to use his boost as he comes onto the main straight just to help him defend. And Kimi Räikkönen. Räikkönen in a battle with Massa. The new old boy at Ferrari versus the old boy at Ferrari. And it's Massa that gets past both Räikkönen and ourselves then, and we're demoted to 9th. We've got Alonso there to think about. So we're definitely going to have to pit. And we should get to the rain. The real question here is going to be if everybody else has to. Because if they can make it to lap 24-25, because their tyres are holding up a lot better, then we could be in a bit of trouble here. Because we might have to make an extra stop than everybody else. But we'll see. We'll go as far as we can for these two guys, and then we'll probably put... Yeah, I think it'll be the soft tyres on both cars. It's probably a good thing actually, because I don't think Magnussen can get to the end on one more stop anyway. Didn't really get that strategy right. Right, so K-Mag probably needs to come in this lap. He's got the over. He's got time on his hands, let's put it that way. In terms of he doesn't have to make it to the end of the race. So let's just sit the soft tyres on and get back out there. Car holding up really well. And then Grosjean, probably the next lap. And then we just got to hope, really, that everybody else is going to pit. I think Hamilton and Bottas are going to, but they're a little bit out of our league. Carlos Sainz probably will. It's this big group of medium tyre runners. I'm really worried they're going to be able to make it until the rain. But anyway, it's a good pit stop on K-Mag. So I'm fairly confident we won't have to fire anybody in the first race. And Grosjean we will bring in this lap then. He's already starting to struggle, unfortunately. Car looking okay. So let's use that boost to try and counteract the grip he's losing from those tyres. And then he's going to be in. Interesting to see, he should be around about 10 seconds behind Magnussen. As long as there's no mistakes. No mistakes, back out, 3.5 seconds, pretty good stop. And they're on their way again now. So if these guys don't pit, we're going to have to do it on track. We've got the fresher tyres, we've got the quicker cars. We need to try and get back onto the tail of the top 10. If we can. So that when that rain comes, if we make the right strategy call, we get some points. It's easy when you say it like that, isn't it? Got a long way to go yet. Right, we're going to use K-Mag's boost to try and get him past both Van Dorn and Verline, but we need to use it at the right time. Preferably when they're all bunched up. Struggling a little bit to get close enough. I'd like to use it out on the straight, but I don't know if we're close enough here. There's some boost being used from Van Dorn, so let's get ours used as well so that we don't get left behind. It's not really how I wanted to use it, but it has put him right on the back of Stoffel, and we're going to see up close and personal how good K-Mag is at overtaking. Can he do it without getting someone to suck his balls? Can he do it cleanly? He had a little look at Van Dorn there. Didn't really have enough in the tank. We're going to go to push on both cars. We've got plenty of tyre life, and they're starting to lose a bit of temperature anyway. We've actually got plenty of fuel in the tank as well. So we're going to turn the engines up. Hopefully that's not too loud for you guys and you can still hear me. Right, so Stroll and Sainz have made a second stop, which has at least gifted us back a couple of positions. So K-Mag right on the back of Van Dorn now. We've only got a little bit of charge, but if we can use it at the right time... Oh, it's not enough. It's not enough. Come on, K-Mag. You were like 7 or 8 seconds ahead of your teammate. That's how much time he's lost. Oh, he's pitted. Van Dorn's in. Here comes the rain. Right. Do we think it's ready for one more lap? To be fair, we're going to have to put one in and then another one the lap after. So we'll pick K-Mag first. Onto intermediates. Front wing is looking a little worse for wear, but that should be okay to the end of the race. And then we'll pick Grosjean the lap after them. Just check the engine's okay to push. It is till the end of the race. I think we got so much fuel because we've been harvesting. We've really saved a lot of fuel somewhere. Right, K-Mag's in. Grosjean will come in next time round. Car looking okay. Good stop from K-Mag. Straight back out into the race then. In 19th. He's He's behemoth. He's between Verline and Van Dorn, so that's pretty good. Well, it's not really. He needs to be ahead of Verline. Hey, look. We'll see if it was a lap early or not, because Grosjean was only 1 second behind. And he's going to come in this time around then. Quite a few people stopping this lap round. Probably most importantly though, that all the guys around us not stopping on that lap. And we're back out, and Grosjean is behind Magnussen, so it was the right time to pit, or it made little to no difference pitting a lap later. Let's use that boost from Grosjean to defend him from the attack from Ericsson. He doesn't need to be stuck behind a Sauber. And Magnussen really needs to get past Verline, but he doesn't seem to have that speed for some reason. We're going to get a couple more positions here. No, we're out behind Alonso and Gasly as well. Stroll and Sainz are still out. Ocon's still out. Bottas and Raikkonen's still out. So we might get a couple more positions, but this isn't going well at the moment. We're going to use the boost from Magnussen to try and get him away from Grosjean. And Gasly used his boost at just the wrong moment there. We're overheating those tyres a little bit, so we're going to have to go back to neutral. Use that little bit of boost from Grosjean to try and defend from Ocon. It's all kicking off in this midfield. From 11th back, there's only a second between us. This is chaos right now. I don't care about tyres. Let's just go for it. Come on, lads. Stroll's just pitted them. We're still fighting for 11th though. All of this is not going to get a single World Championship point unless someone drops out. Magnussen has got past Ocon, so he's in 14th. Grosjean 16th. And just 2.5 laps to go. Right, we are overheating way too much now, so we'll go back to neutral. We've still got tons of fuel left, so I'm actually going to go to overtake mode on the engine and see what these guys can do. We'll use that boost from K-Mag just enough to get him past Gasly and get some past Verline and Alonso down into turn 1. Oh, he's been outdone by Verline with his charge. We'll use Grosjean's as well, see if we can get him in on the fun. Magnussen now making a move on Verline as the leaders move on to the final lap. He still can't do it, K-Mag. We're going to go down to normal speed. Just taking a look down the inside. He'll be on the outside for the right-hander. Didn't set that up very well. 1 lap to get past Verline. And apparently defend from everybody else as well. He's got Gasly and Alonso chomping at the bit behind. Go on, K-Mag. I know your brakes are like fucking sweet dishes, but oh, he's lost the place to Gasly. Not gonna be enough. Let's attack with both cars. See what they can do. They haven't got much charge, but we're going to use it. K-Mag all over the back. They're all stuck in a train behind Verline. And I think it's going to be 13th and 15th. Oh no. Alonso's just got Magnussen on the line. And it's 14th and 16th. That was proper midfield scrapping right there. That was F1 midfield at its finest. But unfortunately, it's a disappointing result. Sebastian Vettel takes the win from Lewis Hamilton as Bottas finishes 5th as he seemed to make 1 too many stops and too late a stop there, Bottas. Well, it's been an incredibly long episode. It's been a very interesting one. And certainly the most motivated I've been for playing Motorsport Manager for a long time. Just having all the official cars and drivers really does help. That was some battling at the end there. It was all... I knew 10th place was too far away to ever get a point out of that after we went on to the intermediates, but we gave it a good go, and that was... Oh, Raikkonen had a 10-second time penalty. Well, he still finished 10th. Christ, we were a long way behind. It's not bad from those two. I think we made 1 too many stops. That's what really did us in. We went too aggressive early on in the race so that when that rain came, we'd stopped when a lot of cars didn't have to. I think it was only Bottas, us two, Stroll and Carlos Sainz that actually had to make that extra stop before the rain came down. So that's where we lost that race. I think points were on the table there. But we've got a good car. And I feel we can move forward and definitely get some decent points in the next couple of races, hopefully. So I hope you guys enjoying this new series. Of course, as always, keep the help and advice coming. Much easier, of course, when you've got the real world. So the first bit of advice, or the first thing I'd like to discuss with you guys and get your comments on would be, do you think we need to replace K-Mag? I mean, he did a better job than Grosjean there, to be fair. But my idea is, because we got such a excess in budget, which I'm going to spend on HQ to begin with, HQ upgrade, and then I may well just try and bring in a top driver, just for the situations like that where everybody's scrapping, just to give us that little bit extra, and really help pull in the sponsors later in the season as well. But do let me know what you think we should do, whether you think I should make different choices in terms of the HQ or the drivers, or what we should be focusing on. And as always, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you again next time.